So a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how Google is moving away from using the Chromecast terminology and that they've got another device coming out. And we talked about the fact that this is not a bad thing, it's just an evolutionary kind of thing. So I've got the new one, so we're going to do an unboxing, and then we'll do a first look kind of thing so that you can get up to speed on what the differences are and what your options are now and going forward. Let's get rolling. Alrighty, hello and welcome. So we have here, this is the device I've been using. So this is the more recent Chromecast. There's been a couple of evolutions of this, but this is what we are talking about here. And we are going to be moving on to what they're now calling the Google TV streamer. And that's what I have here that we're going to unbox. But just so that everybody's on the same page, when I'm recording this, let me get this out of the way. When I'm recording this in, it's October of 2024, you still have the option of both. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so right now you can still buy the existing Google Chromecast, Google TV, right? So that's the one on the right there. And then the streamer is the one that we're going to do the unboxing on. And there's two colors for that. There's this sort of ivory color, and then there's more of a gray color. The gray color is only available online through their store, and then the other one is available like the storefronts and all that kind of stuff. I went with the first one, even though I don't really like the color of it. Given a preference, I would have gone with the gray, but at the point when I was making the order, it wasn't available. But it is available now. So you can go to the page and you can go and compare all the different options. You see that they both have the remote. The remote is similar, but they have made some changes. There's a different colors, right? So like I said, this has changed this here, yeah. So you can do the porcelain, and the other one comes in 3 colors. So you do have options if you prefer. Probably the biggest and most obvious difference is the fact that the new one is not going to hang behind your TV. So when I show you the first look kind of stuff in the setup, you'll see that this has been hanging behind my TV. It's got like a little, this little flexible attachment here. So you just plug it in, and then you plug this into the TV, this end. This is the HDMI port. And then you plug a regular USB-C connector in for power. And this just has been hanging very nicely behind my TV so it doesn't show up. The newer ones are more like the Roku box, the Amazon Fire Cube, which I have the cube, I'll show you that one later, where it's going to be visible, right? It's going to be in front of your TV or on a shelf somewhere nearby. How much of an impact that has for you is going to be a personal choice kind of thing. Personally, I kind of like the whole, hiding it behind, but it's not the end of the world that it's got another box in front of it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with the unboxing, and then we'll compare it to the existing one so you can see what that looks like, and then we will go ahead and take the first look. So let me switch over here, and I did not get my blade out, so let me do that. Okay. Seriously? Oh, there we go. I was going to say, I know I have a blade here. All right. That, and we'll do that, and we'll do this. There we go. Alrighty. Well, let's take a look, see what we got. Again, they've kind of moved away from the funny stuff on the box. I mean, we do have a Google Store thing here, but not seeing the funny sayings and all that. Some paper. Get this out of the way. I'm doing a lot of unboxings. I gotta get some empty boxes out of this room soon. Alright, let's get this out. Yeah, okay, there's a little thing here that this is like the last unboxing I did, so it's in with the new, out with the old. What does it say? I'm trying to read it with the wrong glasses on. Reuse this box to recycle your old electronics. Just request a label at g.co/store/recycling. Follow the shipping instructions and your old devices will be recycled. It's nice that they're still doing that. I have not made use of that yet, but I probably will sooner or later. I'm starting to get too much stuff around. But it's hard to let the old gear go, right? There's some fond memories. Okay, so, just size-wise, that's the current one I have, and this is the new one. Google 4K, Google TV Streamer 4K. Right, so let's find the magic strip here. Well, that's interesting. So they've got what looks like a pull strip here. And then they've got the little wafer thing on here. So I'm not really sure what this is. Should we see? Let's give it a pull. Okay. So that is part of it, but then they still put the little wafer seal on here. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if you can see the wafer seal. There it is. Right there. But okay. We'll make that go away. And open up the box. Let's see. It looks like it's going to slide out this way. This way? I can't tell. I think that. Yeah, that's the way. Okay. So there's nothing else on the box that we need to worry about. So we'll put the box down. It's a molded tray, which is a little different. It's got these little side thingies on it. I'm going to lay it flat because I have a feeling there's pieces in all of it. So there's another little strip over here. Little tab. Yep, there's pieces in all of it. Okay. Oh, we got an outlet. We don't always see outlets anymore. The adapter plugs. All right. So we've got the adapter plug. We've got the remote. We've got the unit, and we've got the cable. So let's just pop out the unit, and underneath that you have your usual instruction kind of legal warranty things. So 4K streaming box with voice remote. Let's get started. It explains the remote. We'll take a look at that in a minute. And then a different language, and then we've got all the legalese here. Let me just take a closer look at the, I don't know if you can see that. I know I will be getting a better overhead camera as soon as I can afford it. Maybe we should do a GoFundMe. No, we were not going to do a GoFundMe. All right, so let's get started. Plug your Google TV streamer device into a power outlet, an HDMI port on your TV. Turn on your TV. Switch the input source to Google TV streamer. Put batteries in the remote. Get the Google Home app and follow the instructions on the TV. Okay, we'll do all that in a bit. Here is the device. If nothing else, I should have gotten the other color just because it would have probably shown up better. So let's see, we have navigation, is the circle here. We've got the select, that's pretty much the same. This is the back button. 4 is the Google Assist, it's got the little microphone on it. 5 is the mute. 6 is YouTube. 7 is TV power. 8 is, that's interesting. 8 says, wait, where's it? Oh, 8 says microphone. Microphone is here, so that's what you talk into. 9 is your home button for when you're online. 10 is volume, so up and down. 11 is Netflix. 12 is a customizable button, so you get a button you can customize, get it to be whatever shortcut you want it to be. And 13 is just the light. So the light is solid when the mic is on. So pretty basic. It does come with the batteries, which is nice. So we'll pop those in. This is always an interesting moment for me. Those of you who know me know that accessibility is big in my world. And sometimes these things are not that easy to open. And yeah, this one is going to fall into that category. So maybe I'll do this off camera so that the cursing and swearing are not on video. Yeah, see, this drives me crazy. Like this, it should not be this hard to change batteries. Like you should just be able to push and slide. Okay, I did finally get it, but I had to use a lot of pressure. Not everybody has that hand strength, and they really need to come up with a better way to do that. But all right, let me put the batteries in. These are, I'm guessing, AAA. Does it say? How does it not say? Doesn't it always say? Well, anyway, my guess is AAA. Yes, AAA. And they both go in the same direction. Sometimes things go other directions. Sometimes they go in the same directions. We need an electronic expert to tell us why they do that or if it's just random choice. Okay, so that's there. And you can probably see that the little light is on. So that is ready to go when we move into the other room. This is your device. So it's got a little bit of like a rubber bottom on it with the Google logo on it. This is at an angle. Don't know why, but it is. Could be just aesthetics. And then we've got this. I don't know if that's like a little... It doesn't give us an explanation for these things. At least not that I found. Let me look. Let me look again. They did it for the remote, but did they not do it for the device itself? No, that's all legalese. And no, they didn't. Okay. Well, that's all right. We'll muddle along here. So we've got some little button here. I mean, that could be a microphone. We've got a little push button here. You see that? Yep. We have the USB-C. We have a network connection. And we have an Ethernet. I'm sorry, HDMI port. So, got some options back here. I don't know what that one is for. Well, I'll have to do a little research. This would be for connecting to the power. This would be if you want to connect it to your internet directly. I'm assuming it's going to work Wi-Fi, but we'll find out. So I'm not sure why we've got this extra one here, but we'll figure it out. And then we've got our cable, which has a standard... Oh, this is the standard USB, which will probably go in here, I'm guessing. Yes, that's going to go in there. I'm surprised that's not USB-C at this point. And then we've got the USB-C that's going to go in the back of that. And just for size comparison, the entire existing one is just a little bit longer with the cord and everything from the regular device here. But if I take this out and put this on here, maybe you'll be able to see it a little better. Let's do that. So this has obviously got more to it. Now, there's reasons for that, and probably the biggest one is around the 4K. So this is the new stuff. Put that there. Okay, and this is the previous generation. This one is bigger because they made it bigger, but also because it's, you know, the 4K. Though I believe this is 4K as well. I'll have to double check that. But also this one has a lot more memory in it than this one does. So this one's going to be able to store more. So you should see, not that I ever ran into a lot of buffering with this one, but it should be a whole lot less with this. So that's probably the biggest reason, is it's got more storage inside of it. So that is where we are at. This is what comes with it. This is the one that is being depreciated, and this is the one that I'm going to install, and we can do the first look walkthrough coming up next. All right, and as always, you know, feel free to jump into the comments if you have any questions. If you want to share your own experiences with it, feel free and go ahead and do that. If you have any questions, or if you want more information about any part of this, you can just go here to yourtechcoach.com. There's a form there that you can fill out to let me know what your questions are, what you want me to do a deeper dive on. And if it doesn't have to be about this, it can be about any tech-related questions, gear, software, hardware, any of that kind of good stuff. All right. So next up, we will do the first look. So my plan had been to take you through the whole process of setting up the device, doing the whole first look thing. Unfortunately, that didn't work. So I was trying something new. So just for reference, this is a device designed to hold your phone. And the idea is that you put it over your head. This is also can be strapped around you for extra stability. But it's a way for you to do recordings and have your hands free. So it's really handy for a lot of different purposes. But it's a technique thing. Like, you have to learn how to use it. And I have been using it for a few weeks just for like test runs, but I don't have it really down for this type of thing. So I will be using this in the future, but because the results from this, as I tried to do it yesterday, it would have made you motion sick. So we're not going to push you through that. I will walk you through verbally the whole setup and some things I learned along the way, some things to keep in mind, all that kind of good stuff. So apologize, but it's basically, in a nutshell, what this is your standard Google setup. So if you've ever set up any kind of a Google device, smart assistant, if you've worked with the Chromecast before, it's the same type of thing. And there's basically two ways that you can go about getting it all set up. One is that you can do it do it in conjunction with your Google Home application, which is what I did. There's also an option on the screen, if you don't want to use that or it's not convenient for you in the moment, to set it up just using the remote. The only thing to keep in mind there is you're going to have to do a lot of typing, like, your network ID, your password, that kind of stuff. And the remote is just a remote, so you're going to be typing on an on-screen keyboard. Some people find that too frustrating. Some people are fine with it, so it's going to depend on your preference and what was going to work best for you at the time. Let me just get this out of the way. And while we're talking about the remotes, let's go ahead and take a look at the remotes, because I did forget to do the side-by-side on that. So this one here is the remote for the Chromecast that I have, and this is the new one for the Google TV streamer. I don't know why. Maybe because it's new, but I'm still tripping over that name. So you'll see, basically the general layout is the same, but the new one is bigger. The weight is about the same. Maybe this one might be just a little bit heavier. Uses the batteries. You saw me put that in already. So just for the layout, they both have the little donut thing for navigation, and then you click in the middle for the selector, so that's the same. Both have the back button in the same spot. Where the mic access on the Chromecast is here on the right, that's home in the new one. And then we've got the mic over here on the new one. This is the mute. This is volume up and down. On the previous one, those buttons were on the side. Now they're right here on the front. And there's nothing on the side for the new one. You've still got your YouTube and Netflix. And you've got your power button. You've got the... I don't remember if this is the light or the microphone. And then this is the custom button on the new one. I don't remember this. This might have been picture-in-picture. I don't remember what that did. I didn't use it much, obviously. So just for comparison's sake, the two of them are here. Yeah, so there's that. Then let's go back here. So one of the features of the new one is this Find My Remote, which is really ironic. So I had never lost this remote for more than like a second or two, where did I put it down kind of thing, until today, where I couldn't find it, where it would have been nice to have the Find Your Remote thing. So the Find Your Remote is an option, and that is the button that's on the back. So let me show you that. I want this one. Okay, so if you look here, right, there's this button here. That is how, if you lose your remote, you can find it by pressing that button, and it'll make the remote make a sound, and then you can go ahead and find it. Now, I did have a brain glitch as we were going through this. I knew the button was there. I knew what it was for. I just forgot to mention it. This is for the power. So this is the USB connection for the power adapter that you plug into your outlet. This is for your internet connection. And I just completely flaked on this. I'm like, HDMI cable. So the reason my brain glitched on that is twofold. One is Google does not include an HDMI cable. So they do include the power cable, but not the HDMI. And then the other reason is because when you're doing this kind of content, not only am I talking to you and explaining to you, but I'm also having to run all these other checklists in the back of my brain. So things like, am I talking loud enough? Am I talking too loud? Am I talking too fast, too slow? What am I going to talk about next? So because of that, sometimes something is really obvious. There's just not enough room in the brain pan for that. So that's what that one was for. Obviously, it has to not only connect to power, but it has to connect to your TV. A little brain fart there. So you do be aware that they don't include the HDMI cable, and they don't mention that when you're buying it, which probably wouldn't be a bad thing to mention. I guess they assume at this point everybody's got one, but that may not be the case. So just be aware that you are going to need to provide your own USB cable. I have been using it now for almost a whole day, and I can tell you that I'm using it just fine on the Wi-Fi. Connected to that fine because I did the setup through my Google Home app, which already has all the information in it. If you go through the other one, if you go through the other path, that's the same setup. You'll end up at the same place. I think I'm going to use it this way for a while, just to kind of get a feel for it, see if I notice any difference, and then maybe I'll do a test of connecting it hardwired to my router. And if there's anything interesting there, I'll let you know. Otherwise, just assume, yeah, it works. It's probably a little faster to download that way. It's probably, maybe you'll have, fewer buffering issues, but I don't think you're going to have the buffering issues anyway because it's got so much more space and so much more memory in it. It's 32 versus the 8 on the Chromecast. So for what it's worth is all that. Doesn't take long to set it up. You're just going to go through, the usual screens, and it's going to do a software update if there's one available. It'll connect to your Wi-Fi, all that kind of stuff. It'll give you a couple of options about how you want to set it up. Whether you're you want to set it up to use with other people, or, if you're the only one's going to use it. So for example, if you want to have a profile for yourself, one for the kids, or, one for guests, Or if you're in a roommate situation, so you're going to have one for you and one for, the roommate. There's a lot of different ways that you can customize it, which is nice because different people might be using it. So that's just another option. Let's see, what else? Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, because actually as I was telling my friend about this, they're like, oh, well, we're shopping for a TV and the TVs will come with it, so we won't need that, right? And that's partially true, right? So you can buy TVs now that have either, the Apple or the Roku or the Google, I don't know if they're still calling it Chromecast or if they're calling it Google TV. It kind of depends on how new the TV is. And that's a perfectly viable option. The reason that, I wish you could buy a TV without all that crap is because it would probably make it a little cheaper, but also hopefully you're not replacing, your TV every 2 years, whereas this technology is probably going to progress. So it's a lot easier to swap out a device that you have connected to your TV than it is to replace your TV, right? But if you're concerned, you can buy a TV that has it, and then later on, if you decide you want an updated external device, you can plug it in. It won't cause any kind of conflict with the software or anything that's set up on the TV already. So you'll still have both options available to you, whichever route you decide to take. All right, what else did I want to tell you? Home versus remote, external, okay. So let's talk a little bit about the custom option. So the custom option is this extra button that's here. So it's got the little star on it. That one right there. And it's a nice little idea. So there's different options that you can choose from. Let me bring that up. One moment. There we go. So these are the options that come up. So you can set your shortcut to be a Google Home shortcut, right? So that means it'll give you direct access to the Google Home app, but display it on your TV. You can set it up to be your favorite app. So, for example, if you wanted to set it up so that it's easy for the kids to get to Disney, right? So you could just say, okay, when the kids press this button, bring up Disney Plus. Or if if your go-to every time you start to watch TV is YouTube or Pluto TV or whatever your favorite is, Netflix. Well, actually, there's a Netflix button on here, so you don't have to waste the custom one on that. But so that's the other option is you can, say, okay, when I hit this button, open this app. Then the third option is you can use it to switch between inputs on your TV. So maybe you want this to be sort of like your default remote, so it'll work for that. I should have put my other remote in. If your TV remote doesn't have that kind of thing built up and you have to get up and manually do something on the TV, it would be another shortcut. So just options, and it's all about whatever's going to work for you. You don't have to make a decision during the setup. You can always do that later. And if you change your mind, like if you pick one and it's like, this isn't really working for me, I thought I'd use it more, you could switch it to the other one inside of the Google Home app. So you're all good across the board there. What else? I had written this down. Oh, I'm going to put in the description, the details instruction. I'll give you the link to their detailed instruction, but just so you see it, they do offer instructions on how to set up that other button. It's really easy. Basically, you press the button and it asks you the question, like, how do you want to set it up? And then like I said, once it's there, you can go ahead and change it inside of the app. So you're good on that score. What else do I want to tell you? The actual, the menus that you're picking from and all that is going to feel very familiar because it's Google TV. It's what you're already seeing. So you're good there. And yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, I put my hand on it after it had been running for a little while, the device itself. It is running a little hot, but not anything to be worried about. And it did cool off after I stopped using it. As a test, I did the same with the, Fire Cube. Is it Fire Cube? I think it's Fire Cube. Either Amazon Cube or a Fire Cube. I don't remember which one they're calling it this week. But that had the same thing, right? So if I was watching something for a little while, I went over, put my hand on it. It's ever so slightly warm. And then after I wasn't using it for a while, it got cool again. So don't be concerned if you notice that there's it's a little warm to touch. It's not hot at all. It's a small device. It's doing a lot of things. So it's going to be some heat generated. Okay. So the other thing to keep in mind, and this threw me last night as it got late and I was getting tired. I am a big fan. Can you see? No, it's behind the typewriter. I have smart assistants in all of the rooms, plus, of course our phones are smart assistants. So when we get ready to go to sleep, I verbally say, device, turn off things. Trying really hard to not trigger your devices. And I just brain farted again because it was a long day yesterday. And I was frustrated because I'm like, I gave it the command, why didn't it turn off the TV? And then I realized, well, duh, I gave it a different name when I set it up from the one I had previously using. So the shortcut here is, if you're not going to keep, or if you didn't have one before, right? But, so I had a name for this, and now I have a name for the new device. I did not use the same name, so I had to remember to tell the assistant the new name to turn off. If you want to avoid that pain, just give it the same name as the device that you used previously, and you'll be golden. I'm not sure if I'm going to switch it back or not, because I have an idea for this. I've always wanted to try. I will let you know. You'll see on this channel if I decide to go ahead with this, but I have an idea I've always wanted to play with. I think it'll work. We'll see. So I'm not going to steal that name, because that way I already have that name in my memory. So that is basically it. I think that is it. Let me just double check. Yes. So we're good to go. It is a really good device, but again, I'm going to keep driving this point home. At the point in time when I'm recording this, which is when this device just came out and got delivered, if your Chromecast is working, you don't have to replace it. Okay, this is just, it's an upgrade. It's next generation. At some point, they will probably stop selling these, but in the moment, let me go back. In the moment, they are still selling both of them. And you can even go in and you can see, it'll walk you through. So, it's showing you the both. It's definitely a price difference between the two. So you can go through, you can look at it and see, which one is going to do what you want. There's a nice breakdown here of, what works and what doesn't. Really, for most people, it's just, if you're really going into the smart assistant, smart home thing, and you have a Matter Hub, or, you're using Thread now, you can, definitely think about maybe the upgrade. But otherwise, there's no reason to do it unless you're just like me and you like playing with the new toys, or your Chromecast is dying, or you've never had a Chromecast and you'd like to give this world a try. And there is a comparison here, so you can go ahead and check. But, again, the memory is 4 gig, the storage is 32, versus 8 and 2. So they've given you the information for you to make the choice that's best for you. But no FOMO here. This is just the next step, and maybe your TV already has it, maybe what you've got is already working, in which case you are good to go, and this is just informational so that you know that you don't have to make any choices now. Alrighty, I think that is all I have. If you have any questions, if you'd like more information, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help out or do a deeper dive on something if you'd like. But right now, the Google TV streamer is installed and working, and no problems. Okay, one more power. Okay, for you folks who power all the way through to the end of my videos, I appreciate it. So here's your bonus tip, which I do on my lives all the time. So the bonus tip is that I did, when I was going through the setup, I had to go through it. I got to a point where it was okay, it was getting ready to do the software setup, and it kept saying that the device wasn't set up right, and I should have. I'll try to put a picture here of what screen I was seeing. But basically it was telling me that it wasn't getting power. And I kind of looked back because everything was wired correctly. When those kinds of things happen, and this is what fixed it for me, the fastest way to figure things out is just unplug everything and replug it in, both ends, right? So I unplugged the HDMI from the TV, plugged it back in, unplugged it from the device itself, plugged it back in. Same with the power. Unplugged it from the device, put it back in, unplugged it from the power adapter, plugged it back in, and then it all worked. So there's your bonus tip for you. Hope everybody's having a good week, and we will talk again soon. If you're new here, I do shows live Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. More than welcome to come and hang out live, or check it out as a replay, whatever works best for you. Have a good one. Bye.